Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My dear students, I am Mohammad Abdullah Murad Chaudhary, Senior Lecturer, Department of Agricultural Studies, Milestone College, Uttara Dhaka. Let's go for today's online lecture.
Chapter 3, Section 7. Section name is Artificial Insemination of Cattle. Today, from this section, discussion will be a definition of artificial insemination, then their advantage and disadvantages, steps of artificial insemination, and flowchart of hybridization process. First of all, I'll discuss regarding the concepts of agriculture artificial insemination, or the other name will be artificial breeding. The act of manual collection of semen from an improved breed of ox, examine the quality of collected semen, and finally inseminating the heated local cow or heifer calf breed is called artificial insemination or artificial breeding. That means when we collect the semen from the improved breed and simply that will inseminate to the local cow artificially, and the new improved variety or hybrid variety come out, that is basically artificial insemination or artificial breeding. If we have a look, the artificial insemination process can be shown as under what I said before, which is one artificially improved breed and the another local breed will be a cross. That means collect the semen from the improved breed and inject to the local breed. Here you see this is the sign of a male breed. That means this sign is used for all type of male animal, and the other one will be the all type of female animal when this is the used by the scientist. So here is the male improved breed crossed with the local breed. That means collect semen from the male improved breed and inseminate or inject to the local breed female breed, and then where the hybrid breed come out, that is called F1 or first generation, that will be male or female, and that breed the characteristics will be 50% improved type and the 50% is local type. So this will continuing with artificial method. That means collect the semen and artificially inject to the local breed. So this is the process of artificial insemination or artificial breeding. So what will be the advantages of artificial insemination? First one is local cattle breed can be improved. That means in terms of meat, milk and draft power production, the local cow will be improved by this process. Next one is more cow can be inseminated. That means by natural breeding only about 80 to 100 numbers of cow can be inseminated by a local ox per year. But in this if the semen is collected and used in artificial breeding, that would be sufficient to inseminate 10,000 local cows, which is quite huge number. Again, daily ejaculated semen is sufficient in inseminated 200 cows per year. Next one is scientific process and reduce disease spreading. That means in this process improved cow don't have any contact with the local breed. That is why this scientifically process the spreading of disease will be less. Can eliminate a troublesome of breeding and cattle farming, which is in this process some problem will be created in the natural process, but in this process this type of problem will be not create in artificial method. Next point is semen of improved breeds can be improved. That means imported. We can import the semen of improved cow to one place to another place by this method. And better farm management is ensured in this process. Better farm management will be ensured, where you see not contact with the local breed with the improved breed. Liquidized semen can be stored for 4 to 5 days. That means you collect the semen from the improved breed. That time, if the semen will be liquidized, that means liquid. That time that will be stored for a couple of days, which is 4 to 5 days. But in other natural method, that will be not possible. Next is disadvantage of artificial insemination. Needs skilled manpower. That means not all type of farmer can do this process, because for this process they need some skilled manpower, some skilled people. Expense is high in this method because collect the semen from improved breed, so this process little bit expensive. Not all type of farmer or poor farmer will able to do this, or capable to continue this artificial insemination. Proper time required. Otherwise, if the semen is not used in proper time, that semen activity will be destroyed. That is why need proper time required. If one step is wrong, then it will fail. I told you before as well, it needs skilled manpower. So if you do not skilled in artificial insemination or artificial breeding, that will be ruined all the process of the breeding. So that is why if one step is wrong, the process will be failed. Irregularly heated cow not fit. That means if the cow is not heated regularly, that will not fit for this process. Ineffective immature semen lowers the productivity. That means if we collect immature or ineffective semen from the improved cow, that will be not increase the productivity, that will decrease the productivity, which is very harmful for the farm. This process is very complex. If the farmer is illiterate and uneducated, that time they cannot do this process. So this all about the disease advantage, this artificial insemination advantage and disadvantages. Next, I'll discuss some point of steps of artificial insemination. This one is you need to know the process. First of all, you have to collect semen in artificial method. That means we collect the semen from the artificial method from the improved cow. Then examine the semen. That means this one is immature or ineffective. That should be examined. And because if the semen is immature, ineffective, that will less the productivity. Next point is semen liquefaction. That means make the semen liquid it with the help of some other component. Otherwise it will not breeding for lots of or huge amount of number of local cows. Next point is semen preservation. We can do in two process. One is liquid semen preservation, or we can do frozen semen preservation. So collect the semen and you have to store it for couple of days, like 4 to 5 days, make it liquid or frozen. Next is application of semen to the uterus. So this is the last process. So this is the all process of the steps of artificial insemination. That is why this one is very complex. I told you before as well, if the farmer is illiterate and uneducated, that farmer will be not able to do this process. Now I will discuss about the flowchart of the hybridization or artificial insemination process. So how you do this process? So for do this process, we need one improved cow and one local cow. So I'll show you some picture where you can see the calculation and the mathematical process of the flowchart of the hybridization. This one is very important for your exam. Sometime you can get these questions for 4 or 3 marks. So have a look first. Friesian or Holstein Friesian, this is a improved breed of cow. So I told you this is the sign of a male, and this is animal, or this is the sign of a female animal. So first of all, we have to take Friesian male cow or ox, which is 100%. That means there will be no hybrid or cross. And here local cow 100%. So here there will be no crossbreed or hybrid it characteristics here. So 100% means the characteristics of Friesian is 100%, and here characteristics of local cow is 100%. So when these two is crossed or inseminated, that time the first generation will come. This one is might be male or might be female. So that time the characteristics will be 50% Friesian and 50% local. Remember that when you cross the local cow with improved breed, that means inseminate the semen of Friesian cow to the local cow, that time the characteristics of local cow will be always 50% less. Here you see the characteristics of local cow will be here 100%, but here it will 50%. So this is the first generation. Remember that if this one is male, that will you cannot inseminate the Friesian and semen to here for process the next steps. But remember that if that is female, that time you can inject again here the next generation. So this is the first step or first generation here. Again, second one, again we inseminate this Friesian semen to the first generation. We know that the characteristics of first generation will be 50% Friesian and 50% local. So again, when you inject this one to here, that time second generation will be 25% local plus 75% Friesian characteristics. I told you before, when the hybrid process is continuing, that time always 50% reduced from the local characteristics. You see, if you have a look on the previous slides, here you see the characteristics of local cow will be 100%, and here the characteristics will be 50%. So all together will be 100%. So here 50%, the rest of this Friesian is 100%, 50%. Again here the Friesian crossed with the first generation. Here the local cow characteristics was 50%, now it will 25%. So rest of is Friesian and characteristics 75%. So altogether 100%. Next, third step is Friesian 100% characteristics male, and second generation where the characteristics was 75% Friesian and 25% local. So if we cross that one, that means inseminate the Friesian to the second generation. So third generation will be 12.5% local, because that was 25%. Now 12.5%, and rest of them is 87.5% is Friesian. So this is altogether 100%. Again, next step, that means fourth step, again inseminate the improved breed semen to the third generation. So that will be come out the fourth generation, where the local will be 6.25%, because the previous one was 12.5% local characteristic. So rest of here will be 93.75%. percent. So altogether 100%. Always remember, I told you the generation will be male or female. If that will produced male, that time the process will be stop here. You have to start from the previous one again. If that one is female, that time you can continuing the process till the 100% hybridization or 100% hybrid. Next is again Frisian improve variety semen inject to the fourth generation, come out the fifth generation. Here will be decrease the local breed from 6.25 to 3.1 because I told you 50% reduce from the local and increase here the Frisian. So altogether 100%. Again in 6 steps, improve variety semen inject to fifth generation, because I told you if that is female, if not female, that will be you have to start from the previous one again. So the sixth generation come out and the local breed characteristic was in previous 3.13, now 50% less will be 1.5%, and the Frisian will be rest of them, and altogether is 100% characteristics of the cow new hybrid variety. Next is 7 steps. Again inject the improved variety semen to the 6th generation, because this is if this is female, and come out the 7th generation, and here local breed characteristics will be 0.78% because previous one was 1.57%, and the rest of them are 99.22% Frisian. So altogether 100%. And at last this is the last steps where you can see the 8th generation will be 99.61 Frisian plus 0.39% local. That means here you can find all maximum characteristics will be Frisian, that means improved variety. So this after that you cannot go to the next step, because this is the almost finished process, and you can get the improved variety. Here I can get more meat and more or milk as well. So I told you again, I'm telling you again, if the process will continue, that time you have need the female generation. If that will be male, you cannot do the next generation, you have to go back to the previous one and start again. So this is this simple math you can get for your questions, and you can get these questions altogether in your textbook page number 117, and you can see, have a look the process, and this one is very easy simple math. You can get this type of question in your exam. So this is the process of flowchart of the hybridization process. So in this chapter you can get questions like explain the flowchart of the hybridization process for 3 to 4 marks. Remember that sometimes they mentioned you in the questions, like I show you the 8 steps or 8 generation, but sometimes they ask you explain the flowchart of the hybridization process till 5th steps or 4th steps. If they need so, that time you explain up to 5th steps or 4th steps.
Thank you very much, my dear students, for watching today's online lecture. If you face any problem, contact your subject teacher. They must help you. Thank you very much.